Hello, we are students from Universidad Popular del Cesar, and this is our video defense for the activity assessing reading, writing, and speaking. Our project was designed based on our teaching practice at La Esperanza Technical Educational Institution, located in the La Nevada neighborhood of Valledupar, Colombia. This institution serves a lower-middle socioeconomic community where students have limited access to technological resources such as computers, video projectors, and sound systems. Another relevant aspect is that the school doesn't have a formal English curriculum, which means that the language learning process is not continuous between grades. Because of that, we worked with 5th grade students who had received very little English instruction throughout the school year. Most of their previous experience with English focused only on isolated vocabulary, like colors, numbers, or body parts, without developing the receptive and productive skills. Considering this reality, our group designed 3 connected assessments, one for reading, one for writing, and one for speaking, all centered around the topic Introduction to Verbs. This common theme allowed students to work with familiar and meaningful content that could reinforce comprehension, reading expression, and oral communication. Each assessment was designed following the main basic competency standards in foreign languages and the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR, specifically at the A1 level, ensuring that the activities were realistic, appropriate, and coherent with the students' level and context.
For the reading assessment, we create a short and practical test titled Introduction to Verbs. The main purpose of this test was to evaluate the students' comprehension of simple tests in English, integrating both macro skills, like understanding the general idea of the test, and micro skills such as identifying specific information or key vocabulary. The test was structured in 4 parts. The part 1 is a global comprehension with multiple choice questions based on a short test called My Daily Routine. The question asks students about what the test was about and what Carlos did at school and how he feels about it. The part 2 is about specific comprehension. In this, there is a matching activity from the test at the part, where students have to connect each person with the action they perform. For example, Maria jumps rope or Dad cooks hot dogs. The part 3 is a vocabulary identification with true or false statements to check the understanding of key verbs and actions. Finally, part 4 is a vocabulary application where students complete short sentences using a word bank with verbs like eat, study, sleep, watch, and dance. The test was fully aligned with the main basic competency standards. Specifically, I understand short tests related to daily activities and familiar topics. It also followed the CFR A1 descriptor that says I can understand familiar names, words, and very simple sentences. The assessment include clear instructions and short tests with visual support and different eating types to keep students engaged and motivated while measuring comprehension effectively. The design proved to be valid, practical, and reliable, ensuring that even students with limited exposure to English could participate successfully.
Writing assessment designed. For the writing assessment, we designed the activity My Verb Story, a day in my life. The purpose was to help a student demonstrate their ability to use verbs correctly in right prediction, while organizing their ideas locally in a short paragraph. The activity followed 4 clear steps. Step 1. Think and write. A student wrote a list of 10 verbs they use in their daily routines, such as wake up, eat, go, study, and play. Step 2. Plan. Using those verbs, they wrote one simple sentence for each, describing their routine. For example, I wake up at 6 a.m. or I go to school with my friends. Step 3. Organize and write. Students arrange their sentence in a logical order to create a short paragraph of 10 to 12 sentences titled A Day in My Life. They were encouraged to use connectors like then, after that, and later, and finally to show a sequence. Step 4. Check. Finally, they reviewed their work to verify grammar, punctuation, and organization. The objective followed the main standards. I write short and simple text about my environment and deserve a 1 descriptor. I can write simple phrases and sentences about myself and my surrounding. The analytic rubric used for evaluation include categories such as purpose, as, and task understanding, use of verbs and grammatical accuracy, organization and cohesion of ideas, vocabulary and spelling, use of connectors, and overall presentation. The writing activity was simple but meaningful. It allowed students to express their own experience, connect vocabulary to real-life actions, and apply basic grammar in context, all without the need for technological tools.
For the speaking assessment, we designed a picture-based description activity, also called Introduction to Verbs. The purpose of this test was to assess the student's ability to use basic actions, verbs orally in real communicative contexts. The activity was organized into 3 stages. Stage 1, warm up. The teacher greeted the students and asked 1 or 2 short questions such as, how are you today? Or how have you been your week? To create a comfortable atmosphere. Stage 2. Picture description. Students receive a picture showing people doing daily actions like brushing teeth, eating a breakfast, or reading a book, and were asked to describe what they saw. The teacher prompted them with the phrase like, what are the people doing? Or what this person are doing. Stage 3. Follow-up questions. After the description, the teacher asked short personal questions related to the verbs in the picture. For example, do you eat breakfast every day? Or what do you do after school? The objectives align with the MEN standard. I describe what people are doing using simple expressions. And the CEFR A1 descriptor, I can use simple phrase and sentence to describe people and activities. The writing scale includes fluency, accuracy, pronunciation and intonation, grammar and vocabulary, and international effectiveness. Considering that the classrooms are large and noisy, the assessment was planned to be conducted in small groups or pairs, allowing students to practice first and then perform individually. This activity prompted confidence and spontaneous speech and interactions while keeping it accessible and realistic to the conditions of La Esperanza School.
In the reading assessment, our main challenge was to create comprehension tasks for students with very limited vocabulary. Most of them were not used to read in English tests. To solve this, we used short passages with familiar topics, such as daily routines, and include pictures and simple multiple choice items to support understanding and motivation.
For the writing assessment, the biggest difficulty was that students struggle to form complete sentences or organize ideas. We decided to guide them step by step. First, listing verbs, then writing individual sentences, and finally organizing them into a short paragraph. This sequenced process helped them to write more confidence and structure.
In the speaking assessment, one challenge was that many students felt nervous or shy when speaking in English. To reduce anxiety, we began with a short warm-up conversation and let them practice in pairs before the real test. This small adjustment made students feel more comfortable and encouraged them to speak more naturally.
Overall, across the 3 assessments, our solution was to design simple, accessible, and engaging activities that work even without technology. We focused on clarity, visual support, and real communication, adapting every task to the real conditions to La Esperanza School.
To conclude, our 3 assessment designs, reading, writing, and speaking, share a common structure and topic, making them coherent and pedagogically connected. All of them are aligned with the basic competency standards in foreign languages of the MEN and the CFRA 1 level, ensuring that the tasks are appropriate for the learner's level and for the real conditions of the public school context. Through this experience, we learned that effective assessment does not depend on technology, but on the ability to design activities that are clear, contextualized, and meaningful for students. Our assessments promote not only language learning, but also motivation and self-expression, helping students build a stronger foundation in English. Thank you very much for watching our presentation.